Colorado families, this week on Community Chat, Hagen Nares, PLC truck wreck and brain injury lawyers, is speaking with Ann Burr, owner of Burr Law, a premier estate planning attorney and law firm in the state of Colorado. Now, I know and trust her for a lot of the cases regarding my personal injury cases involving children because those need to be probated, and she is an expert at that. But she's going to talk about more things that she does and how she helps families all over Colorado. And so we're here to talk about her journey, what it's like to be a client of hers, and a training tidbit for the community. So thank you, Ann, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Anna, so let's talk about a couple things with regards to your journey. You have such an exciting story of how you even got here. You've done tons of trials, you've done tons of litigation work, and you're now doing a lot of estate planning and probate work. So we'd love to hear about your journey about getting here.
So I'm going to start way back, and then I'll fast forward. So I won't give my whole life story, but really my journey as a lawyer started out from my dad and my grandpa on that same side of the family. My grandfather's family had a store in a tiny little town called Alt, Colorado. It's up north of Greeley. There's like 6 people who live there. And they had a little shop, a little general store for over 100 years. And they were just a foundation of that little farming community up there. And I used to go and spend time with my grandpa at the store, and people would come in, and it was this real sense of community, and everybody knew that they could go see Chuck, and whenever they needed to get done, they could get done. And so that was really modeled for me at a very young age, the idea of just helping people and being a part of the community and doing what we can for whatever people might need. That was again reinforced by my dad. Spent a lot of time with him. He was in a bunch of different community groups and clubs, and was always a part of the running of whatever it was that was going on. He was the president, or he was the secretary, or he was whatever was going on. So it was the same thing. Everybody could go to my dad, and he would help them with what they needed. And my dad also had a real love of the law. He wasn't an attorney, but he just really liked the study of it and what it meant, and the foundation of those things, and how important it was that we had these systems. And so that was how I became an attorney in the first place, was from having those things modeled to me by my dad and my grandpa. Fast forwarding, not too many years, but some years, my grandfather passed in 2017, and I had been an attorney for some time by then, but not in probate, not in that space. And so as the attorney in the family, all of that responsibility of probating his estate fell to me. So then I was trying to figure this out. And it occurred to me in navigating through that, both through the legal side of things and also just in kind of managing my family and all of the grief and the confusion and the chaos that can come along with the loss of a family member, that people need help with this. If I need help with this, and not, I'm not some super genius, but having never seen it before and still having legal training and seeing the difficulties there, it occurred to me that this was a real place where I could offer guidance and help, having actually gone through that on the same side of my clients at the same time. So that was when I started expanding, into the estate planning and the probate space.
I think that's fantastic. And what you did touch on is you do have a vast experience level in litigation and doing personal injury work and doing all that. And that is really important because it also frames your estate planning and probate process, where unique things that people are going through. You don't want that. You can speak to literally, you don't want to go to court. Let me try to bypass this. I actually litigated for many years. So you have a great background with regards to that. And again, that sets you up as being different from a lot of state practices where the attorney may have just been a transactional lawyer their entire life. You are an actual litigator. And so that is what makes you unique. But there's so many other things that make you unique to other estate planning law firms. And so I'd love for you to share, what is it like to be your client? How are you different from other firms?
I hope that what it's like to be my client is that people feel like they are really guided through the process. There are a lot of different ways for people to get estate planning done. There are websites available. There are plenty of law firms to go to. What I hear overwhelmingly from people once we finalize the process is that they have a sense of, of relief. Like whatever that weight was that was sitting on them for 5, 10, 15 years that they've been kind of thinking about, oh yeah, I need to get this done. I need to do this. Now that's gone. And we really try to take the time to make sure that people fully understand what it is that they need, what it is that they're getting. And estate planning is kind of strange because you have to address the needs of the family now, but also try to address the needs of the family in the future.
Mhm.
And we don't know necessarily what that's going to look like. Who are the kids? Where are they going to be? How many grandkids are we going to have? Is there going to be a divorce and a remarriage? We don't know. And so in asking those questions and really digging into the dynamics of the family, we try to hit on those key issues that could become a problem in probate court that they never would have thought about if they were trying to do a plan on their own.
I think that's fantastic. And so there's kind of two purposes. You really help just the community at large, really planning for the future and preventing, again, some of the things that people don't realize, which is, without a trust in place or without something to really secure stuff, they may have to go into litigation. That, again, is bringing back your context. So that's the community at large. But you're also very helpful for other people like me, personal injury attorneys. Again, you have that background, but also you can assist and support those families that have a minor child that have been injured in helping them out. And so a lot of attorneys also are going to be listening to this, and you are someone that's an expert in doing the probate process for a child. So twofold, what makes you unique and different. Another thing is just you have a wealth of experience with regards to all this. And so I would love for you I know there's a lot of training tidbits out there relating to estate planning in the probate process, but I'd love for you to share some things that you have come across in working with your clients that all of us should really know about.
Sure. So I'll give two. If I can, I'll give one for estate planning and I'll give one for probate. There are a lot of misconceptions about both of those, about how those systems work on both sides. For probate, a lot of families don't realize why they need it or even understand what it is. And so foundationally, it's because somebody needs legal authority to make decisions on behalf of whether it's a child in a personal injury setting or because someone has passed. Like I can't just go sell your house. I don't have the legal authority to do that. And it's the same thing if my sister dies. I don't have the legal authority to sell her house. And so the purpose of probate is to plug into that system and make sure that the correct people are doing the correct things. In the personal injury space, it's the same thing. The court has an interest in making sure that minor children are not being taken advantage of, and so they make an exception there, where even though it's a parent who's accepting the money, they still want just that little bit of a check there to make sure that it's all being handled properly and nobody's being taken advantage of, which is really the overarching purpose of the probate process. On the estate planning side of things, I would say that people really overlook how vital estate planning is, particularly for blended families. I hear stories all the time about beneficiaries on life insurance that weren't updated, or people who never made a plan at all. The best way to disinherit your child is to divorce a parent and then do nothing, because stepchildren are not a natural heir. So if I have a stepdad, so if my mother passes, everything that they own is going to go to him. And if he doesn't have a will in place, then when he dies, I get nothing because I'm not his biological child. And the stories that I hear are so sad from people who've been unintentionally cut out of their families because nobody got around to getting the estate planning done. There are a lot of things that people overlook and don't realize, and that's why coming to see somebody sooner rather than later is so critical.
I think that is fantastic. So, Anna, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to conclude all of your contact information in the show notes, but what is the best way generally to reach you?
The best way to reach me directly is by email, but also calling into the office. We have people available to answer the phones 24/7. So,
fantastic. Thank you so much, Anna, for being here. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.